It's 10:23 a.m. in the morning. But I kind of wanted to try something. Uh, I kind of wanted to try to get under this 300 pound weight loss. Not 300-pound weight loss. If I did that, I'd weigh nothing. I want to get under 300 pounds, is what I'm trying to say. I'm sitting at 303, and I want to lose that 3 pounds, and maybe then some. So I want to try to do something I have not done yet, and it's going to be an interesting little project, if you will. I want to try and eat Subway as much as possible. Buy a 1 foot long sub and make 2 meals out of it as often as I can. I ain't gonna say every day, but as often as I can. Today would be a really great day to do that. I would love to be able to do that for 14 days straight, which would be the rest of this month. But I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that off because, I do like to spend time eating lunch with the wife, and she's not going to go for Subway every time I want to get something to eat. But Subway is a great tool for losing weight. Not to the extreme that the one guy who got in all the trouble a few years ago, not the way he did it. I feel like I read up on him, and he was eating under 1,000 calories a day, which is way too extreme. And in my opinion, they say that he was discovered totally by accident, but a so-called friend of his, wrote in about him to Men's Health magazine. If you follow anything about that guy, you know that he liked to get people to do things for him. So I guarantee you, he was in cahoots with that friend who wrote to that Men's Health magazine. Like, oh, he likes to be that one guy, who will set things up for himself through other people. He like, oh yeah, I had no idea he was gonna write that article on me. Yeah, what the hell ever. Okay, so that was some kind of plan, and I guess it worked. They said that the magazine was sponsoring weird and really weird diets at the time, and they would only write articles on those weird diets that were actually working. They'd love me, wouldn't they? But yeah, oh yeah, it was an accident. Oh yeah, they know that they're sending in weird diets, but yeah, there's my college buddy wrote an article about it. Sure, you weren't involved at all. And of course, by doing that, the Subway thing caught on. He probably didn't expect it to go maybe as far as it did. Probably wishing right now it hadn't have. Yeah, that boy's in a pickle. But like I said, I done some digging on him. He was born in 1977. He was part of that whole Zennial generation, micro generation, and that generation loved attention, and they would try to get it. Everybody wants to set themselves up in a way where it falls on them on accident. If it had been a true Gen Xer like me, he'd tell you straight up to your face, "Yeah, I'm trying to lose some weight. Yeah, I would like a sponsorship from Subway." Why beat around the bush about it, huh? You know what you're up to. But yeah, yeah, he even when he was looking up all that pornography on children and stuff and soliciting kids or whatever. God, uh, he was even trying to sneak around and do that through someone else who was kind of into the same things he was into. If you follow up on his story, it's really disgusting and quite pathetic, really. I mean, all that money and that's what you're gonna do with your life? Jesus, what a waste. You had one job, Fogel. You had one job. And it really used to tick me off anyway when I saw that he was doing that because Subway was one of my favorite restaurants back in the 80s. The first time I ever ate a Subway, it was, I think, around 1985. I think I was probably about 14 at the time. And my first sub experience was the foot long Italian BMT. A friend of mine, his mother had took us there. I had never eaten a submarine sandwich before. I didn't even know what that was. Subway was like a brand new thing. It had just, restaurants had just started opening up here in the 80s. But I ate that sandwich and I had spent the night with them, and turns out they went to the same church that my grandparents went to, and my great aunt Mabel. Mabel was like my grandmother, even though she was my grandmother's sister. I spent more time growing up with her than I did my own grandparents. I mean, I spent a fair amount of time with all of them, but more so with her than any of them. And she would buy me anything I wanted. So they dropped me off at my great aunt Mabel's house, and the first thing I got my aunt Mabel to do was run me back to that Subway and get me another one of those subs. I ate two that day, footlongs. Couldn't help it; they were so good. And she got the 6-inch club. She didn't eat the whole foot long like me. Sometimes she'd get a foot long and take the other half with her to eat for another meal later on, put it in her refrigerator. But that became a thing for us. I'd have to come home to go to school for the week, and then on the weekend she would pick me up. And the first thing we'd do on Friday nights after we got up close to her house, we went to the nearest Subway, which was pretty much walking distance from her house, and we would eat that sub every Friday night. It was our thing. And there was a lady that used to work in there. She wasn't supposed to do this, but she did. Would bake up those chocolate chip cookies. At that time, all they had was chocolate chip for the choice of cookies. They didn't have anything else. But we'd get to eat some of them free, hot. She'd see us coming. She got used to us being there on that Friday, and she looked forward to that. She looked forward to our company in there. So she would bake them cookies, and we would get free chocolate chip cookies. But I have fond memories of Subway, from the mid 80s on up, and I think it's a great restaurant. I love that they bake their bread fresh. Somebody told me one time that Jersey Mike's was a better sub sandwich shop, and I went there, and the first thing I noticed is they took their bread out of a plastic container. They made up that sub, and I got their Italian equivalent sub to the BMT at Subway, and had regular white noodles, and they were limp, and they just weren't fresh. They weren't crisp the way Subways are. The bread was kind of dry, had that little bit of crispiness, going on I guess it being in their plastic container too long. Yeah, you get a sub at Subway, they open the door, right? Give you a fresh piece. At least they're supposed to. I have had some bad experience at Subways too, but there's so many around, you can find the good ones versus the bad ones and avoid them. But I was thinking today I would make Subway my 2 meals for today, or maybe even my 1 meal, depending on how late I get to eat. But like I say, it's already 10:34, and my daughter is on the half-day schedule, so I've got to drop her off at 12:30 for her half-day schedule, and it'll be sometime after that before I can actually hit a Subway and get one. So that is my plan as of right now. So that is what I'm going to do, and we will talk to you when I get that going. Stay tuned for that. Alright, so I just dropped my daughter off at school, and I took her by her usual place, Zaxby's. Got her something for lunch before she went in there. And I tried to go by Subway because I had a little time left over, and the drive-thru was packed, and the inside line was packed. It's like everybody decided to go to darn Subway today. It's like, this was like at high noon. It's 12:33 now. I'm gonna go back by there and see if it's gotten any better, but if it hasn't, I may have to scratch the Subway idea for today. I don't want to wait all day just on a sub. Shoot. But anyway, you'll know in a minute when I know. Alright. I am pulling in the Subway now. It looks a little better than it did a little while ago. Let's go in there and get some food. Alright, so I got the classic Italian BMT. And I'm going to sit here and eat it. Very tasty, just like I remember. This way I can get a couple of refills on my expensive drink. So I'm going to eat half of this now, and the other half I will eat later in the car. Alright, so got my other half a sub here. Uh-oh. I'm having a camera malfunction. Hold on. Okay, now our screen's back. Lost my front-facing screen there for a second. Alright, so we just come out of the Subway. Cinderella on Hair Nation, it's Mark Striegel. And that first Vince Neil solo album, we got our other half of a sub with us. was my alarm saying something was behind me. That just seemed to backing up behind me for some reason. They can't get parked straight. But wait, that sub, half of that sub, and we're taking the other half home with us. And like I said, I was able to get me another drink and a half and two more. A drink and a half in there and another half to fill it back up before I left. So that worked out pretty good. That was pretty satisfying since I hadn't ate all day. It hit the spot. I would like to have some chips with it, but that sub with that small drink was $10 even, or a little over $10. Now I can remember a day when I could have got that drink and that sub for just a little over $5 back when I first started eating Subway. That might have cost me around $5.89, somewhere around that general area or direction. Subway was a lot cheaper in the 80s. But the pay wasn't as high, you know. Minimum wage was a lot lower. And they raised minimum wage twice under Bill Clinton. But what good does it do when they raise the price of all the consumer goods and the gas right there along with your pay? You wind up with nothing extra is what happens. So it's like a pointless battle. It's like, what's the point in raising minimum wage if everything's just going to skyrocket in price? A president's promise. Ooh, we're going to raise minimum wage. Oh, yeah. And then all the darn groceries and everything else goes along with it. And I'm telling you, they're trying to do a little reverse psychology right now. You know, you heard them talking about that $15 an hour raise or minimum wage pay increase. So what they're going to do, you know, to try to, you know, sucker the public into the next presidency, they're going to raise all these prices like they are right now. And what you're going to see is they're going to raise minimum wage, and everybody's going to be able to, all of a sudden, be able to afford life again. When you've been around as long as I have, you've seen all their dirty tricks. They just try to find new ways to put them on you to where you don't notice, but I notice. Anyway, that's enough of that rant. We'll see you again when I get ready to eat the second half of my sub. Next time I'm bringing a few chips along with me. I've got my own Pringles. All right, so it is the end of the day, and we still got our other half sub. Now, I know I said earlier I was going to eat some chips, but when I got home, I realized I still had some of that Valentine's cake that my wife bought me yesterday that I showed you this morning that I ate. So I ate a piece of that instead. It's a very small cake, and with the family eating off of it, it's almost gone. And it was my Valentine's gift after all from my wife. So. And don't worry, I got her Valentine's too. I got her a flower, and I bought her lunch, which we barely had time to eat in between her job schedule. So, there I go making a mess already. Now I couldn't talk about the sub earlier, but like I said, it's classic Italian BMT. And without anything on it, it's hitting. I forgot what it said. Let's find out. Let's see what Google has to say about it. That's always a good way to find out quickly. How many calories on a foot-long BMT at Subway?
820 calories. According to Fast Food Nutrition, calories. There are 820 calories in a foot-long Italian BMT.
820 calories. Now I do got some mayonnaise on there. I got some oil and vinegar on there. And let's see, I got... let's see, lettuce, pickles, black olives, banana pepper, purple onion, and that's about it. But you know, the original Subway diet calls for 1 6-inch turkey sub. Oh yeah, I got cheese on here too. I forgot about that. 1 6-inch turkey sub with no cheese or mayo or anything like that. I think he might have went with mustard. I don't really know. And then a foot-long veggie sub. And I can't remember the exact calories of all of that, but it seemed like it was still under or right at 1,000 calories for... That's ridiculous, man. So if I had to guess off the top of my head, this is still maybe 1,500 calories or under. And I would rather have 2 6-inches of these than all of that crap he was eating. Actually, their ham sub has less calories than their turkey. I looked at the cold cut combo, weighs in around 600 and something. So if you're starving to be calorie driven, Subway is the place to do it. But calories are not my concern right now. They haven't been all this time, and they're not now either. I can't tell her whether mayonnaise is getting on my face or the oil and vinegar from the sub. Jeez. Maybe a little bit of all of it. Honestly, I was still quite satisfied from the first half a sub I ate earlier. But I know that's not going to last. I mean, I ate that around between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, so it's 4:09 now. This is not. It's about, what, 3 hours apart? Something like that. But I want to eat it. I don't want to be too hungry by the time I go to bed tonight. So this is a pretty controlled calorie. All right, sorry about that. The camera overheated. Talked too long. I've got a pretty weird and unique little camera system that I use to make my videos. Well, I will have to make a video about my camera system one day for you. It's pretty neat and convenient for filming this type of content for sure. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm going to use Subway to control a little bit my weight loss, a little bit more aggressively, as often as I can. I'm not going to say every day because, like I said, I am going to take time and enjoy with my wife and my family. I'm still going to stay on my intermittent fasting schedule, no matter what. But I do want to, have some controlled days and try to help move things along a little faster. It's not a big deal, but it is I feel like it'll be a little bit better if I do things that way. And Subway is a good way to do that. And you're gonna see me eating a lot more Subway sandwiches whenever I get the chance. I just wanted to get that BMT today because that's the one I started out on. That is my favorite Subway sandwich out of all of them. I don't know what I'll try next time. It'll be something different next time, though. What that will be, I don't know. I don't think there's many subs at Subway I ain't never tried. I think I've never tried the tuna. And I don't royally hate tuna or anything, but I don't know if I'll ever try it. I may try it if somebody sees this and convinces me to. But yeah, I think Subway is a good way to cut down and especially when you take a foot-long sandwich. I don't care which one you get from Subway. It doesn't matter which one, not even the meatball. I think I read on there that the chicken bacon ranch melt is the highest calorie sub that they sell. And I think it was sitting around, God, I can't even remember now. Might have been 1,200. But even with it, loaded with vegetables and everything, even with mayonnaise, you're still going to be okay at Subway. Come on. All the Subway guy ever did was intermittent fasting, just like I'm doing if you think about it. He kept his calories low and he ate too mad. He was eating 2 meals a day. That's exactly what he was doing. Too mad. 2 meals a day. So maybe there's really nothing that special about the diet after all. And I'd be kicking myself in the tail if I wasted 11 months on just 2 specific type of sandwiches. That's kind of that was dumb. That's what that was. That was just pure dumb. I have ate a veggie delight before, but yeah, I don't think I'll be trying that one either. Um, Not because I wouldn't like it or anything. I would like it, but man, why would you skip on having some meat on there? Especially when the veggie delight is about the same price as the ones with the meat, about the same price as a ham sub. Uh, yeah, that Black Forest ham sub is the bomb, and that's pretty low in calorie too. But anyway, I've talked long enough for today. We'll call it right here, and we'll see you tomorrow. Till then, you have a good one.